Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it. Number one flaws, you don't know ball. We taking advantage of that. Got you Karens asking where the manager at. With no cap, no time for the amateur rap. Look, man, we got dogs all over the depth chart. Monsters on the roster. Straighten up that posture. Rooting out you imposters. Silver bullets in the chamber. And a D-line full of danger. Step back with that linebacker trigger. When he pull it, it'll bang ya. Running backs running downhill. Touchdown on your IG reel. Better check the stats. Buddy, it's straight facts over how you feel. Whenever I speak, I'm giving you more bars than German Village, Short North, and High Street. And you know, the average Joe can do nothing with my flow. It's a waste. Somebody please give his brother an I.O. Come on.
I told y'all before, I need to feel y'all's energy. Stop sitting on y'all hands and get this place lit. Like I said, bring the energy.
Yeah, you know what time it is. I'm raw with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lame. You know what time it is. I'm brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lame. And it's Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the... Up everybody, what's up y'all? I see the chat is chatting, popping per usual. Love y'all, man. Y'all be going hard. Look, they already be on it before we even hit the live button. They be in there. What's up, Matt? Stilly Matt, Vader, Karis, Washington. What's up, y'all? Dennis Moore, Buck Vader. I see y'all in the building. Hope everybody's doing good on this fine Sunday, this fine Memorial Day weekend, long weekend. Hope you're enjoying yourselves with your families and all that. But thank you for showing up, man, to chop it up with us. We got a lot to talk about in this off season, man. Always something going on. But Funky, what is up, brother? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, B. Moses. Feeling more like a national champion today than other days, just because we're 100 days or less than 100 days away from Ohio State football, 98 days away from Ohio State football, should be 99 days. For those who tuned in last week, you heard straight from my voice that there was real conversations about moving the game to Sunday night, and that ended up being 100% true. There was real conversations. Doesn't mean that it happened. It didn't happen because Texas said no. And I want to stress about that. We're not going to talk about this much, but Texas said no because they had a right to say no because the game moved from Saturday to Sunday. It wasn't a time zone thing. Texas would have no say in the time if it was moving it from noon Saturday to 7 p.m. Saturday or 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Saturday. They would have no say in that, but because it's a change in date, that's why Texas had a say. But for those on the scoop board and B. Moses know, I went through with my word of when if Ohio State won the national championship, I'll get an Ohio State tattoo. And I got that done yesterday, B. Moses. So B. Moses had a photo of it. Looks pretty clean. It's clean. It's nice. It's healing well. My coach isn't going to love it. My mom actually said it would look good. But but yeah, you know, it was a good weekend and a good week, and I'm excited to talk about all stuff Ohio State. And now we're 12 days away from the final hearing of the Michigan.
Yeah.
Wow. That's going to be a nice thing to talk about, especially next week or even maybe today.
Man, what are you talking about, Funky? That's just another weekend. It's nothing, right? You suck guys are going to be so disappointed. Shut up, idiots. Yeah, we're getting close to that. Definitely looking forward. And just to let y'all know, we're not expecting the hammer on the weekend. Like, that's the actual hearing. I'm saying that because there's a lot of misunderstanding out there. Oh, the hammer's coming on the 6th and 7th. No, it's not. That's the hearing to decide, which hammer Thor wants to use. You want to use that one? You want to use the one you use in Endgame? Whatever. 30 to 45 days after that is when the hammer will drop, just for clarity purposes. But yes, but it's funny. An article dropped right before the show that Buckeye Scoop responded to, and I retweeted
that we're going to kind of start the show off with, and then we're going to get into the anonymous coaches talking about Coach Day in Ohio State, and then the chances at repeating and all that stuff. Julian Sayin, but we're going to start the show off with this article. So, Funky, I'm actually going to share my screen, but if you want to kick it off and explain to them, as you explained to me, who the article's from and what they're saying, I can pull it up on my screen. Pull the Buckeye Scoop response up, I should say, on my Twitter as well. So
yeah. So the article was written by Trevor Woods. He writes for the Maize and Brews, or something like that. A big, or not even a big. I wouldn't even say that. It's a Michigan website where they post articles. Not sure if anyone reads it. He seems pretty irrelevant to me, but he pretty much underlines 4 major points into why he believes that the hammer won't drop. His first one was that Pete Thamel said it's not going to happen. Pete Thamel, about 10 months ago in an ESPN show, he quoted from information that he got from Michigan, that was leaked to him from Michigan, that he doesn't believe that there's any talks about vacating wins or postseason bans. That does seem damning, and that would be a good point of evidence if, as of recently, as of a month ago, B. Moses, his fanboys and all those people, Dan Welts of ESPN, went on his own podcast, and when asked if he thinks there's going to be a postseason ban or vacated wins, he said he doesn't know, which is a big switch because 10 months ago seemed they're pretty confident that nothing was going to happen in terms of postseason bans or vacating wins. But now, about a month ago, he says they don't know. Seems like backtracking to me. The next thing he underlines in his article was the quote from Charlie Baker, and we've talked about this 1,000 times. The Charlie Baker quote, where they said they won the national title fair and square, just means right when they alerted of all the cheating, and that they alerted all the Big Ten teams that they were cheating, that they won those games after that fair and square, when Connor Stallions wasn't on the team, when Jim Harbaugh was suspended. They won those games fair and square, which I personally believe. I think there could be there's definitely an argument to be made that those games also weren't won fair and square, but I can see an argument to be made those games after that were won fair and square. But that doesn't mean the 7 games before that in 2023 and the 2 seasons fully before that while they're currently cheating. So all Charlie Baker was saying was right when they stopped cheating, they won those games fair and square, which is a fair argument, and I could totally see it, but totally misleading to use that quote to make an argument that nothing's going to be vacated in 2021 because they won games fair and square in 2023. That doesn't make any sense. And the third thing, I forget what the third thing was, B. Moses. What was? Oh, it was the Ward Manual quote.
Yeah.
The Ward Manual quote. He claims, where Ward Manual claims that he doesn't know what's going to happen. He used that as evidence that nothing's going to happen. When Ward Manual publicly stated that he doesn't know what's going to happen, he said it like 3 or 4 times in the article. He was like, I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm not saying that because it's going to be good or bad. I just don't know. So he used that as evidence as why the hammer is not going to drop, because the Michigan athletic director didn't think the hammer was coming. To put that in perspective, Gene Smith publicly stated that there won't be a postseason ban, told Urban Meyer there won't be a postseason ban, told everyone that he's 100% confident there won't be a postseason ban, and guess what Ohio State got? A postseason ban.
Exactly.
So what do these athletic directors know? Really nothing, but especially when they publicly state that they don't know what's going to happen. So a total clown article, and there's a dozen people in that comment section who have credibility and who will put money where their mouth is and who will actually bet on with him, and he will not take it. Absolutely not. He's ducking the whole squad. He is not going to respond. He's just going to sit there and make this clickbait article. And you also have to ask yourself, why hasn't Michigan settled?
Yep.
Why would Michigan let this storming cloud, this big, gloomy cloud, hang over their heads if the argument was just over a difference between a 2 and 4 game suspension for Sherrone Moore?
It's ridiculous.
If that's really what it's about, then that's just ridiculous. And that's absolutely not what it's about. It's about vacating wins. It's about postseason ban. It's about long show cost for Sherrone Moore. It's about a year, 10 game, 8 game, multi-year show cost suspension for Sherrone Moore. All the above, all the stuff we've been talking about for 20 months now. So it's Yeah, that's pretty much what the article is about, and it's total clown stuff. But yeah, what's your reaction on that, B Moses? Since I know you didn't hear about it you didn't see it until I told you about it right before the
Yeah.
show started.
Yeah, it's the same old stuff. I mean, I quickly retweeted it before we went live, and I basically just said, they keep trying to spin this, but won't matter. The hammer's coming. It's the same old recycle arguments. Also, with Ward Manuel, he failed to mention the other part of the quote in that interview is when Ward Manuel was in a very sober tone said, "Hey, but when you do break the rules," and he went on talking about how you gotta deal with it, you gotta own up to it. Like that was the first time I heard Ward Manuel or anybody from Michigan with a sober tone. It was kind of ominous. Like, after kind of learning, like, hey, man, they trying to crack us, y'all. Like, we about to get popped. It was that type of tone. So it's cherry picking quotes from interviews without giving the full picture, but it's also distorting facts. Also funky. And yes, I see comments like this, Adam. Absolutely did not win the 23-year fair and square, not when you have 2 years of benefit and experience of recruiting going into because of cheating. I agree. And I think Funky agrees. I think Funky is just being charitable as far as trying to put himself in the shoes of Charlie Baker at the time of what he was thinking. Because again, that quote from Charlie Baker, which was dumb to me, that was irresponsible for him to even say that, especially when he, in that same quote, he says, but the investigation is ongoing. So you as a president should know better to not even say that. I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to, in my opinion, based off the context and the question, is to protect the product that was about to be seen on the field and say, hey, we exposed them. So, theoretically, they shouldn't be cheating anymore. So this should be fair and square because we exposed them. But again, that was before more stuff came out. The key point I always point to is when the NOA, the rough draft of the NOA stated that Connor Stallions took the stuff, the database and all the little cheating, stuff on the database and handed it over to a player's at his apartment for him to come back and pick up later. So who's to say they didn't still have signs to cheat? And again, remember, Alabama players were saying that they were being alerted that they couldn't even watch their catapult because of the Michigan cheating. So yeah, that quote was before all of that stuff developed. So yeah, I mean, no, we can't prove it for sure if they were still cheating, but it's reasonable to believe that they still could have been based off of what I just said. So I did want to say that in response to what you're saying, Adam, because I feel you on that. But also, I wanted to show you what Buckeye Scoop said. They said the Pete Thamel Club already backtracked every statement you quoted. True. You misquoted Charlie Baker. You ignore what the NCAA and the Big Ten has already stated. You forget to mention the part of Ward's quote where he says he doesn't know what's going to happen. So the key part I want to focus in on that Funky didn't mention as much in that response is the you ignore what the NCAA and the Big Ten has already stated. That right there, my friends, is the whopper. All the other stuff is facts, bars, truth, all that. But that line right there, I was talking to my notorious group chat that I always talk about, Mike Patterson, DeJuan West, Deontay Marshall, Carlos Ridley, my guys, my dogs. We were rehashing the letter from the Big Ten when this all first started, because some people want to know why I'm so adamant. Some people, and not just me, but Funky, and Scoop in general. But, and I say this repeatedly, yes, we have sources. We have access to sources. I mean, listen, y'all can hate on Scoop all you want, but you're a fool if you think Nevada Buck and Kirk Barton and Scoop in general don't have. I mean, we got sources, y'all. Mainly Nevada and Kirk. Those are the two honchos. And just saying, the point is, it's not just about sources, y'all. That's important. That's powerful. That sets us apart. But it's not just that. It's negligence on a lot of people's parts who don't know what they're talking about for not reading that letter. Me and my group chat, we were just rehashing the letter and just going over the heat. Funky, I don't know the last time you read the letter from the Big Ten, the 13-page letter. I encourage y'all to go back and read it again. I mean, it's bars after bars in there from Tony Petitti. I mean, he is like this the whole time. I mean, he's making them look like fools for how they responded. And so go back and read that. I'm saying that to say the reason why I've been so adamant and steadfast and refuse to waver on this about the hammer is because of that letter. That letter set the tone, y'all, and it only got worse from there. More evidence, more ridiculousness. Central Michigan, more lies, more spin. Sharon Moore, 2 games, self-imposed. Like it just keeps piling on. So anyway, this right here, like Funky said, is a clown show. It's goofy. It's just to try to brush Michigan fans' hair to make them believe a little longer, and just basically give them a shot in their arm of delusion to continue on this journey of delusion. But it's all going to come crashing down very soon. That's just it, period. And I'm here for it. Funk?
I mean, exactly. And like, why make that article today? Why make that article today? It's because they're just coping. They're absolutely coping, and they will refuse. Like, I bet you anything he won't respond to me or respond to Buckeye Scoop. There's no chance they respond to Buckeye Scoop or me or you on this YouTube. We could post the clip online. We could do whatever. Like, there's no chance that they respond because there's no response you can make that's logical and reasonable. There's absolutely nothing you can say. The only thing you can say is you're coping and rehatching the same old arguments over and over again that we've literally devalued. We literally have disproven every single one using only facts, only quotes from the Big Ten or the same people. Literally, we can disprove their quote by using the exact same quote that they use. And it's ridiculous. It's clear manipulation, and you can't really trust people who, use only half a quote. Like, that's pretty ridiculous. And to go back on what you're saying about the 2023 wins after them cheating being like fraudulent and they didn't win fair and square. Yeah, I think there's absolutely an argument to be made. 100% argument to be made. I just wouldn't say I'm 100% confident on it. I'd probably be like 95% confident that those wins after they were caught cheating should have been vacated. Because clearly they got a big recruiting boost. Clearly they got a big boost in the portal. Clearly they got a culture boost from them winning games while cheating, and that talk about them giving the hard drives to lower Michigan staffers with all the information in it. So clearly they must have had some sort of information that was illegally obtained, and all the recruiting boosts and all that stuff that we can talk about. So yeah, I just wouldn't go out there and say I think those wins are going to be vacated. So that's what I'm more mean. Could they be vacated? Absolutely. But I wouldn't put my head out there like I'm doing for every other game from 2021 to 2023 and the national title and the Big Ten titles and all those bowl games.
Yeah, and to that point, I want to respond to Matt Randall's comment. Where is it at? Yeah, here it is. Matt Reynolds, I think the NCAA is scared because of being sued again, and they've even voiced that. But if they don't do much, they might as well leave because they will never be took serious. So I want to address this, and this has been addressed. I mean, I've lost count on how many times this has been addressed. Number one, Matt, thank you for the comment. I appreciate you watching. Number one, can you provide me with evidence or a source of when they voiced that? When has the NCAA voiced that they're afraid of being sued again? That's one. But two, I wanted to clear this up once again, because this is a comment, and I believe you're innocent in this sense of just hearing information and repeating it because you hear it so many times. Michigan fans, they like to weaponize this and use this, knowing a lot of them know that it's out of context and wrong, but they weaponize it. And again, the NIL stuff that's happened with college football, that is what the NCAA has struggled with in the court system, because judges, are overruling, new laws are emerging because of name, image, and likeness. Okay, that right there specifically, and I want everybody to hear this because this needs to be debunked. This is like one of those zombies where you shoot it down, and I don't know if you ever seen Zombieland. I like that movie. Especially oh boy, Jesse, I forget his last name. He's from Columbus, Ohio in that movie. So I like that movie even more. It's got Woody Harrelson in it. But anyway, sometimes you got to double tap the zombie so that they stay dead. But this zombie keeps resurrecting and getting back up after you shoot it down. The NCAA is not struggling in court with compliance, rule breaking type stuff like this, y'all. This has not been an issue. Go back and look at the last 5 to 10 cases. We've mentioned Tennessee. We've mentioned Kentucky. We've mentioned Florida State. We've mentioned Arizona State. These teams are getting hit. They're getting popped for non-NIL stuff. So this notion that the NCAA is afraid to get sued and they have no teeth when it comes to the lane that Michigan is clearly in, this is not an NIL case. Okay, this is the worst of the worst when it comes to compliance and rule breaking stuff. So this ain't no NCAA scared stuff. Let's kill that zombie forever. Please, let's kill it, because it's just not true. Okay, so anything you want to say about that, Funky, before we move on?
You're totally right. You're spot on. It's nothing to do with NIL, nothing to do with like player eligibility or nothing to do with transfer portal ruling. It's everything to do with literally on-field cheating. So that stuff's never going to hold up in court. That's just never going to happen, because then NCAA is going to be like, well, we have evidence of them having a decent advantage to win these football games. Even if it's 5%, that's massive. That's a gigantic advantage. That's even if it's just 1 or 2 or 3 plays in a game, we all know how big of an advantage that is. If you could go back in time and change 2 to 3 plays in a football game, in some of the most heartbreaking games we ever had, Moses, how much national championships does Ohio State win in our lifetime? In my lifetime,
8.
Yeah, like 7, 8, yeah, a ton, maybe even more than that. We might not lose a game. There's very few games in my life where you can't retract 2 or 3 plays, or they go a different way, or a call goes our way, and we don't win the Natty. It's pretty rare in my whole entire lifetime. We'd be a 10-time national champs. So even if it gives them just that small advantage of 2 or 3 plays, then they should be vacated, and the courts will agree, and the NCAA agrees, and that's why I won't hold up in court, because it's on-field cheating. It's nothing to do with paying players. It's nothing to do with academic eligibility. It's everything to do with actual physical affecting the how do they say it, B. Moses, in that Big Ten article?
In the Big Ten letter from Petiti?
Yeah.
Which part?
Compromise the integrity of competition.
Of the game.
Integrity of the game, yeah.
Yes. And that they say that more than once. I mean, they highlight that. They highlight the word unprecedented. They use that several times. They start out the letter by talking about how they had to make an emergency call. This is how bad this was. This is out of the scope of what they usually do. I mean, this is like, hold on now. Again, I'll say this again. They gave Michigan State the option to not play because of player safety. When has that ever happened? Ever in your life? If not ever in history. But yeah, this is a nothing burger. And, vacating wins is not even on the table because, one of the kids didn't get tattoos for memorabilia. So won't be any vacated wins. But again, y'all, for those who didn't watch the last 2 shows, we debunked that too. We went right to an NCAA spokesperson who confirmed that vacating wins is not only for ineligible players. They have a whole criteria. They have the authority to do it whenever it's deemed necessary. And they gave bullet points. Okay, and we lay that out right here on the show for you. So again, Michigan fans and writers keep trying to ease the waters and rationalize through this, and for whatever. I don't know if they want to keep their audience clicking, I don't know. But we've snatched away every Linus Blanky that they've tried to cuddle up with, every one of them. And so they can keep on saying, oh, Buckeye Scoop is lying and they're fake sort, whatever, dog. We've been on this from day one, and you can't honestly point to anything about the story that you can say, oh, we were wrong about that. You can't. All you can do is cry and just, oh, well, Buckeye Scoop is lying. How? Just like they try to say Justin Spiro's a liar, but the dude gives you bars every time, lays out receipts, point by point, and what do they do? Ad hominem attacks. If y'all don't know some of y'all know what that is, Google ad hominem attacks. They go for his character. They go after him. They attack him. Oh, you're a Suckeye lover. Oh, do you ever talk about Michigan State? They want to do everything but talk about the facts of this case. They run from it. They deflect from it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm telling you, when no other team or fan base will have deserved this hammer more than these clowns. Period. It's ridiculous. This is just funky. This is just Ben, I lived through the 90s, okay? I know you weren't born yet. The 90s were brutal, especially here in Columbus. We got a lot of local scum fans here who thought it was cute to be the contrarian and be a scum fan in the 90s when we were struggling with John Cooper. But what I'm saying is, even just living through that and just in general, I've always said they're the most delusional fan base in the country. And this story right here, all of this, we're not even mentioning Matt Weiss, just everything is just going to, once it comes crashing down, officially, this will really put the cherry on top of emphasis, confirming what we've been saying all these years is true. The most delusional, arrogant, stupid fan base in sports.
Bars, B Moses. That's exactly right. And yeah, I mean, that's just exactly right. You see the horrible stuff they say about Spiro, and he's been nothing but right this whole entire time, and has been 100% logical, and has only reported on absolute facts. I mean, he literally reported that Connor Stalions was on the sideline. He broke that news, and he even broke how he got on the sideline and how he knows it with the security cameras and them handing Connor Stalions a pass and a close behind a fence in Spartan Stadium. He knows it, and that's all going to be in the whatever the final page that they write up for us at the end of the hearing, whatever what's going to be mid July or late July or whatever the heck, whenever the heck it is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, this stuff's just it's going to be crumbling down, and you can even see it. And I almost laugh when we see these random articles pop up, E. Moses, because I'm already said, what's the point in them? Why are you making this article? It's clearly you're thinking about it and you're coping about it, and you want to retract your fan base about it, and your fan base is freaking out about it, and you want to keep the clicks coming, and you want to keep people interested in Michigan football. Because in reality, you get a postseason ban, yeah, a lot of people stop caring. You get a 2-year postseason ban, then you're gonna feel that wrath for years to come, and you can already see it with their recruiting and with their NIL, and I mean it's crumbling down piece by piece, and it's going to be absolutely glorious. And we're going to, I actually, you said you think I'm not sure you said this on the live or before the live, but you said you think we're going to hear something around the time that the committee infractions meets. I don't think I agree with that, B. Moses. I think it's going to be quiet from June 6th to 7th to whenever the punishment is. I think it's going to be absolutely quiet, because I think that, there's just going to be the NCAA is not going to leak anything. Michigan's not going to leak anything, because it's going to be kind of too soon for the case. And I think they're just going to let it play out and let the bomb drop on us. Like, yeah, you're just going to wake up one morning. And literally, that's going to happen to me. I'm going to wake up one morning. The report's going to come out at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. East Coast time. And it's going to be 4 a.m. my time. I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. to 1,000 missed calls and 30 missing text messages, and the board's going to be exploding, and I'm going to be like, what the heck just happened? So that's how I actually think it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to hear about it until the bomb actually drops. No,
I disagree with you, Funky.
Yeah.
But no, I'll say this. I won't die on that hill of what you're saying is not true. But I feel like, first of all, the NCAA ain't leaking nothing. It was always Michigan I was referring to. So the only thing I can really see them doing, because again, their greatest weapon in their mind right now is overreach. And I can see them after the hearing maybe putting overreach trial balloons out there in the media. Like, I guess that's what I'm talking about, as far as not necessarily revealing the punishment, but just crying in the media about what could be coming, and how, it's unfair, and how it was a kangaroo court from their sources, like all of that, basically trying to pave the way for their excuses and their spin on what happened in that hearing. I can see something like that happening. But quiet, honestly, I don't care. I'm just happy that it's coming. It's funny, real quick, and I put this up on my screen. I'm gonna get to that in a second, because somebody asked about this photo. Real quick, my dude Deontay Marshall, what up, bro? Jalen Marshall's brother. He was saying he was debating with some scum fan on one of them Big Ten battleground groups, and he was going through points about why nothing's going to happen. And one of his points was there's not going to even be a committee on infractions by June 6th and 7th anyway. He was basically saying that they were going to be done away with. Like Michigan would have successfully ran out the clock so that the committee on infractions would just be dissolved. Bro, I was weak with laughter. This is how crazy these fans are. Do y'all hear me? What's the crazy loud Gilbert Gottfried sounding Notre Dame fan that says Michigan brain dead syndrome or whatever? I forget his name, but he's hilarious. Shout out to him if you're watching this. Michigan brain dead syndrome is what that was. Ridiculous. But Ryan Day's championship beard, you said the whole photo of Ryan Day looking like he's doing karate is killing me. That was inspired by a movie, and I'm dating myself. It's called The Last Dragon. The main character is this gentleman right here, Bruce Leroy, and the villain is a cat named Show Nuff, right? And so at the end of the movie, Bruce Leroy is getting whooped. I mean, he's getting like just pummeled by Show Nuff. And at the end, you know how these movies go. You finally find yourself and you tap into your chi, or you tap into your inner power, or whatever the theme is. And Bruce Leroy, you see the glow around him. He finally tapped in and he started glowing. And he's like, I know I'm the last dragon. I'm him. And then that's when he started just dominating and beating Show Nuff. So that was the inspiration for Ryan Day doing karate, because after that national championship, I feel like he has the Bruce Leroy glow now. I've mentioned this on the show before, and now I feel like we're going to see, and that'll segue later as we go into that about this run we about to go on. But anyway, Funky, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good turning point to talk about what these anonymous coaches, that they released the whole article about anonymous coaches talking about certain college football teams, and Ohio State was one of them. And the common denominator was talking about how good Ryan Day is, just how good Ryan Day is and how good the wide receiver room is. And that's really the stuff to underline, because this team is absurdly talented and well put together and kept intact. We had zero scholarship players leaving the spring portal.
Yep.
And only a few backups leaving the winter portal. Absolutely crazy and unheard of, coming from a program like Ohio State, where Mylan Graham was getting calls for I mean, I bet you he was getting offered close to 7 figures. B. Moses, I would bet money on that.
Oh yeah.
Then I'm sure Brandon Innes was getting calls. We know Carnell Tate was getting calls. I'm sure Lincoln was getting calls. I'm sure the whole team was really getting calls. Hey, you might not start like this year. You might be not getting full-time reps. What you should come to whatever SEC schools, blank SEC school, blank Big Ten school. But they all kept in contact, stayed in Ohio State, because our loyalty is different here. And it's kudos to Ryan Day. He's building an absolute juggernaut of a program, recruiting at the highest level, hitting the transfer portal better than any team in the whole entire nation. And I don't think it's close. The impact players we get from the transfer portal and the hit rate we've had in the last 2 seasons has been absolutely insane. And that's not going to stop with Ethan at left tackle, Phillips as the 6th offensive lineman in the roster, the 3rd tackle. I bet you he gets big time playing time this year. So it's great to be in this program led by, Ryan Day, and these coaches agree with us. And I'm not worried about I'm not worried about anything about the offense this year, B. Moses. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
0 bit at all. And that's a credit to Ryan Day for, going in the portal, getting Julian Sayin, or that's pretty much recruiting. That's pretty much just an extended recruiter there. Going in the portal, getting Ethan, getting another offensive lineman to come, getting Max Clare. All these question marks they had of our offensive line, our tight end, our quarterback, all gone. And that's kudos to Ryan Day.
Yes, it is. And we will continue to give kudos to that man. He's deserved it. And here's the quote. It says, anonymous coaches, and I got the article up, comments on Ohio State and Athlon Sports College Football Magazine. Year in and year out, this is the most talented program in the league and one of the most talented in the nation. The question every season is just if they can arrange that talent the right way. Whoever wins the quarterback battle has one of the best receiver rooms in the country. The defense is stocked. Defensive tackle might be their question mark, but they're going to dominate in league play. The resilience of Ryan Day and his staff is really, really remarkable. I don't think they get enough credit from the public for how they manage the playoff run after losing to the team up north. The calls for his job were absolutely ludicrous. Do they need to beat Michigan? Yeah, sure. But this program is the very top of the sport, is at the very top of the sport because of the head coach. Well said. Very, very well said. Basically echoing what Funky was just saying. Excuse me. And again, that's partially the other thing that inspired my thumbnail is that the way Ryan Day fought back, the way he fought back himself, and then rallied the troops was just remarkable. I mean, it's I'm still basking in it. I'm still basking in the national championship, and I'm really buying into the future of this program winning more titles. And a lot of people couldn't have said that before the Michigan game or even right after the Michigan game. You know what I'm saying? But because of that Bruce Leroy glow that Ryan Day is rocking right now and how infectious it is and the moves he's made in the offseason, it's just like I'm confident at this point that we're going to have a title or more. I feel like we're going to, and that kind of is a good segue into Bill Green. Shout out to Bill Green, BuckeyesScoop.com. He's been around the business for years and years and years. Great guy, veteran, and really, really good connections. And on the Scoop board, make sure if you don't have a Scoop.com subscription, go get you one. What are you waiting on? Best in the business, inside information, just all type. We be on there clowning, memes, and just having fun and good information, all of that. But Bill Green posted on there how he talked to his Vegas Connect, and he gave his unbiased opinion, and based off the numbers, I should say, with Vegas. And Vegas is saying Ohio State is favored, the clear favorite to repeat. And that right there in itself is phenomenal. I mean, coming because a lot of people, especially Michigan fans, my dude Mike Patterson, he was saying he was on their board, Funky, and he was saying that the Michigan fans feel like this is finally the year that we lose 4 to 5 games because we've lost too much. You fools! How many times do we have to show you? We the whole rebuild and reload. We don't rebuild that. We have been the epitome of that. Literally, it took Tattoo Gate to get us to have multiple losses. Okay, we are a machine. All right. We are the most consistent program in the last 25, 30 years. And I saw you were debating about, Alabama and Ohio State and all that stuff. And Spiro posted that. Point is, we are up there. And so that's hilarious. We are stacked, y'all. We are still stacked. And so Vegas believes, they agree. And remember, Penn State got to come to the shoe. Because I know Penn State getting a ton of love, and people think people's rallying around James Franklin. Oh, he's fine. We're going to root for the little engine that could to really, finally coach well enough to win a big game that matters. We'll see. You got to earn it. You got to come to the shoe against this team and this defense and these coaches. All right, now I'm fired up today.
Yeah, I think this is okay. This might sound contradicting, and I might get slapped in the face, or not physically, but I might slap myself in the face for saying this. But I think the returning talent of some teams is being over exaggerated this year, especially because of the fact that Michigan had a lot of returning talent in 2023 and won it all, and Ohio State had a lot of returning talent in 2024 and won it all. One, that Michigan team was not the best team in college football. I thought that was pretty clear and obvious that year. Georgia 2023 was clearly the best team in college football. But people forget in 2022, Georgia, they lost a lot in 2021, a ton, if I remember correctly. And they came back in 2022 and were the best team in the country, or best or second best team in the country, but they ended up winning it all. So that they ended up, becoming the best team in the country. Hard to argue against that, really. So, with a really mid quarterback, by the way. So I really think this year people are over exaggerating the returning talent of especially these two teams, especially Notre Dame and Penn State. I don't think they got the athletes, and I don't think they got the talent of Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia. That's just the teams I'm thinking of. I think, but you get what I'm saying. So there's a big difference between Ohio State returning Tyreek Williams and Josh Simmons and or sorry, we didn't return him, but Jack Sawyer, JTT, like top 50 draft pick, Trayvon Henderson, a top 50 draft pick, Quinshawn, a top 50 draft pick, going in the portal, getting the best player in the country, Caleb Downs, getting Jeremiah Smith. We literally returned the whole team, got an NFL quarterback in Will Howard, and got the best wide receiver in the country and the best defensive player in the country on the team. So that's a lot more than just returning our talent we had, because we don't win a natty without JJ Smith and Caleb Downs. That doesn't happen. Quinshawn really helped us win a natty. I think we probably still win without him, maybe, but that's no shade to Quinshawn. But we possibly do with James Heaples and Trayvon. I think that's still a really great backfield. But he still really helped us. He had 3 touchdowns in the national championship, a huge, was a 2nd and 7 run on the goal line versus Texas to open up that game. Broke like 3 tackles and scored. People forget about that play. Underrated play that we weren't making in 2023 and 2022. So I really think Penn State's being a little overrated this year because of that, and the fact that Drew Allard, that to me doesn't seem he could get over that hump. And the wide receiver talent, even though it'd be better than they usually have, don't think it's good enough to hang with, the Oregons or the Ohio States or the Georgias or the teams you need to do to win the national championship, because you got to have a higher power. You got to have a high-powered offense. You have to. I don't remember the last time a high-powered offense didn't win the Natty. Well, I guess Michigan. But again, that was such a fluky year. I don't even know how to fully explain that. And even then, they technically had a top 10 pick at quarterback and I guess a good offensive or great offensive line, a bunch of 5th-year seniors. So, yeah, but that's pretty much my point for that. And teams like Clemson, they just don't have the talent to hang with teams like Ohio State and Georgia. And people are really underestimating the returning talent of Ohio State and Georgia. Just because the kids didn't play doesn't mean they can't play, B. Moses.
Yeah.
Like,
right,
and all teams like Ohio State and Georgia should get more credit for that, and we just don't, which is kind of weird to me. Josh Pate has us ranked 8th in the country, which is absolute clown stuff. Absolute clown stuff. You can't convince me that. You can convince me Texas is better because of the recruiting they've been doing and the star players they return, the defensive linemen they return, the good cornerbacks they return, the good head coach. You could convince me that even a Georgia team who's been recruiting at the top 2 for the last 5 years could be better than us. Sure, I could accept an argument of that. Even Oregon's been recruiting at a top 3 level for top 5 level the last couple of years, and they hit the portal really hard and got a bunch of really great players out of the portal. Do I think any of those teams are better than Ohio State? No, but I can see an argument. But when you put teams like, they put 7 teams ahead of us. It was like Notre Dame, Penn State, bunch of clown stuff. And I think that's just people are over exaggerating and don't fully look into who's returning and whatever. Right. And it also doesn't matter, B. Moses. So
it doesn't. But no, you nailed it at the end. People are lazy. They don't go that's why I got respect for like guys like Phil Steele. I'm not saying he's 100% correct, but he's usually pretty good with his predictions because he actually takes time to research and dig into the rosters. And so he's more accurate because of that. But this is a good segue into the super chat that we're about to go into in a moment. But before we do that, I do want to quickly say I am still praying for Julian Fleming and his family. Y'all heard about the accident. I believe it was on the ATV. His girlfriend tragically passed away. He's seriously injured. So please, if you don't pray, thoughts, whatever you do, thoughts and prayers, whatever, I'll be praying continuously for them as they come to my mind. Very, very sad. Yes, he's at Penn State right now, but he's still a Buckeye to those Buckeyes he played with. He still, put forth blood, sweat, and tears on the field for Ohio State and helped us win games. And he still has relationships. Regardless, if that wasn't the case, we would still, have empathy and pray for him. I'm just saying he's still a Buckeye brother. So anyway, I wanted to put that out there. I see the chat. And so wanted to say that, but wanted to transition into the super chats as well. Thank you, Mickey, for this. Always greatly appreciated. Would never stop appreciating it. Thank you so much. And then also Dev, what up, brother? So this is the segue. Shout out B Moses and Funky. Thank you for the 20, Dev. Thoughts on the lack of national Sayin preseason hype, and does Sonny Styles get drafted first round? 2025, 2026 Natty Lock IO. And so, yeah, so Funky, I guess this super chat right here is a good segue well, not even as a segue, but a good connection to what we were just saying, because I think, to me, and this is my response, I'll give my response to Dev first, is that part of it is irritating for the reasons me and Funky just stated. People are lazy and, they don't do their homework. But on the flip side of it is, I love the motivation opportunity and the fuel and the sleeper, what I'm saying, under the radar, like the doubt, like it's less distractions, it's more fuel to the fire that people are sleeping on Julian Sayin. You know what I'm saying? And we're getting reports in BuckeyeScoop.com. Again, we just got another great nugget about Sayin and what he's doing behind the scenes. And, you heard Kirk and Nevada talk about the whole Cali trip with J.J. Smith and Keen Hose and the receivers, and how he's just stepping up, and they're just cooking, man. And it like, when we see this product on the field, the spring game was a sneak peek of his precision, his accuracy, his command. It's only going to get better through the summer and fall camp, y'all. Let's just stop kidding ourselves. I like Keen Hose. I'm glad he stayed, because he's going to be a heck of a backup. And he might even have some really good packages in the red zone. I'm excited for his role. But Julian Sayin is our starter, y'all. Let's stop playing. So anyway, I want to pass the mic to you to see what your thoughts on Dev Super Chat, Funk.
I mean, the reason why there's not national hype around Sayin is two things. One, because the expectation that we're held to is not the same as Florida, Michigan, Nebraska. Yeah. So when people talk about, Underwood's going to save Michigan, or where DJ Lagway is going to save Florida, or Raiola is going to save Nebraska, they're just talking about making from a 6-6 program to maybe a 10-win program. But when you're comparing Ohio State quarterbacks, you're talking about difference between a 12-0 team who loses in the Natty and a 12-0 team who wins in the national championship. So those are the expectations you hold them to, and that's the standards that Julian Sayin get hold to. So that's one thing that I want to state. And the second one is, it's our beat writers. Our beat writers, literally the popular take in our beat. Let's not forget this. So if Julian Sayin's in the Heisman race, let's not forget this. Let's hold them accountable. The popular piece written by the majority of beat writers, the vast, vast majority at a dozen different sites that we will not speak of, it was that Julian Sayin sucks. Was that he sucks. So he was just too small. When he gets pressured put on him, he falls and whatever. So could they be right? Sure. Have we heard completely different things and we think it's absolutely ridiculous? Absolutely. Yes. But even when your own insiders are saying that he's trash because they get fed BS information from Jerry and Mig to try to push notion to keep all these quarterbacks in the building and, not go out there and whatever, say Julian Sayin's going to start and whatever, and push the narrative that it's 50-50, it's 50-50, like Justin Fields and Chad, whatever, Kuganoff were 50-50 in 2019 in whatever, because Justin Fields wasn't an announced starter until fall camp, just like CJ Stroud, just like Julian Sayin, he won't be announced until the fall camp. So that's the reason why this preseason hype is not happening. And I'm gonna go on the Sony Styles answer his question there.
I forgot about
get drafted in the first round. I mean, that's the goal. And he's an absolute freak athletically, and he's one of the best linebackers that come out of Ohio State in a while. I could see it happening, but I bet on it? Probably not. But him and Lorenzo are making great strides this offseason. And you got to remember, he is the age of a junior. He's an age of a junior. He reclassed.
Great point.
And it's his only second year ever playing linebacker.
Yeah.
So is he going to have to make big improvements? Absolutely. Is he going to have to get bigger, stronger, faster? Absolutely. But his age is good enough to be a first-round pick. His athleticism is going to be good enough to be a first-round pick. It's just going to be a matter of, can he pick up the linebacker steam to become a first-round pick? And I wouldn't doubt it with Matt Patricia, James Laurinaitis. Yes. I wouldn't bet against it, let's say that. And that's definitely the improvements we're going to need to see if we really want to make this back-to-back a reality. He can't get worse, and he can't even slightly improve. He definitely has to improve a lot to help out Arvell, help out the young defensive, or not young defensive line, sorry, the inexperienced defensive line, definitely not young. They have their 4th year, 5th year guys. So he's definitely going to have to be a big leader. Him and Caleb Downs are definitely going to make a lot of plays. But hey, that's why we're excited about the season, because players like him step up every season for Ohio State, and we prove it over and over again. And the jump from sophomore to junior year, 'cause that's how I'm grading him off, is gigantic. Just like look at Cody, bro. Look at Cody. Cody, like he had injuries and stuff, but Cody wasn't an NFL guy really. He was just really athletic until his 5th year in the league. Or was he a 6-year guy? No, he was a 5th-year guy. Fifth year at Ohio State, and he turned into a 4th-round draft pick, even with his whole injury history and being an older guy. So if Cody Simon could be a 4th-round draft pick with his injury history and, being 2 years older, or maybe even, 2 years older, then, 100%. Styles could be a first-round pick, and I'm excited. I think he'll definitely be a top, a first, second-round pick for sure. And I'd be horribly shocked if he fell out of the 3rd round. So I think he's definitely a top 100 guy.
Yeah, that's thank you for that, because I forgot about the Sonny part, man. My bad. I'm glad you said something. And I listen, I'm getting excited thinking about it, because am I going to do this? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say yes, he's going to be a first rounder. And I know that's kind of a risky, but the reason why I'm willing to risk it is because what got me excited as I was thinking about it is everything Funky just said about, remember, he reclassified. He's still younger. I know he's a physical freak. He looks big, and people just forget that. Not looks big. He is big. But he's still development-wise. And with him switching over to linebacker, I have some grace for that. But the reason why I'm going to go out on a limb with my bold prediction of him being a first rounder, even now, is because I truly believe Matt Patricia is going to come in here and cook y'all. I believe it, man. Listen, every time I hear that man speak, every time I see an interview, every time I just go back and watch and just reassess, like, he's going to absolutely cook, because he's going to put guys in, like Sonny Styles, in position to maximize his ability. And so that's why I think it's not about his size and speed and attributes. If he can be in position to make plays and truly use his skill set, he's going first round, because he's going to do well in the combine. That's not going to be the issue. Can he put enough plays on film? And I believe Matt Patricia is going to help him do that. So my prediction is yes, first rounder. I'm putting it out there. Boom. How about that? All right.
I like the boldness, B. Moses.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, sir. All right. So real quick, another super chat from D Sonny. Thank you for the $4.99. Love your show. And I got an answer for this already queued up. If trades were allowed in college football, would you trade J.J. Smith for any 2 players that another team has, taking our roster into account? So let me give you the drum roll and show you my my answer. Here's my answer for you, D Sonny. Bugs Bunny, no, I am not. I'm not trading J.J. Smith for anyone. I don't care. I don't care if it's 5 players, 10 players. No, sir. That man is a man-child. Like, he is going to go down as one of the greatest, if not greatest, Ohio State players ever. No, I'm good. We straight. What you got, Funk?
I was thinking about this for a while, because I saw that pop up in the super chats, and I mean, I was thinking of one. I was trying to think of who I would trade him for. It would have to be a dominant pass rusher, either a dominant pass rusher or a proven superstar quarterback. And there's no real quarterbacks I would really trade him for. And let's just say, hypothetically, B. Moses, if you can't say no, if you have to trade him for 2 players, I was thinking Colin Simmons, and I don't know who else at Texas. Maybe Dylan Stewart and someone else at South Carolina. I'm thinking, a pass rusher with multiple years of eligibility left. Maybe that Woods guy from Clemson and Cade Klubnik. That I'm like, no, they'll make Julian. I think Julian has a higher ceiling than Cade does. I think Julian's is going to end up a better player than Cade ever was. So my answer would be no. I would not trade him for anyone. But if I had to, I think you go to Clemson and get Woods and Klubnik for this year, because the wide receiver room, B. Moses, is loaded. So, but the answer is no. That really is the only correct answer. But I'm just trying to think of, hypothetically, if we, gun to head, had to trade him, who I would trade him for.
Yeah, it's a hard no for me. JJ. I mean, I'm cool with the hypothetical, D Sonny. It's fun to talk about, but to me, like, I'm just so impressed with this kid, what he's already done for Buckeye Nation. The fact that he's only coming out of his freshman season is insane, y'all. insane. Like, dude, I was just talking to a Michigan fan about this yesterday at my sister's birthday party, and it was crazy. He didn't even know he I don't know. Shout out if you watching. He might just be a casual because he didn't know who JJ Smith was, which blew my mind. I guess he just didn't watch that much this year, but I was showing him highlights and he was just like, oh my God. JJ Smith is incredible and he's only just now getting started. Imagine his football IQ and skill set is already senior-like. Imagine what he's going to be like with another offseason and more understanding of the game and the game slowing down even more. Like, yeah. Definitely not trading him for anybody. But, yep. So, all right. So, I saw something in the chat that got my attention, and I'm trying to find it again. It was about Sayin, but I'll find it in a minute. But anyway, the point is, if Julian Sayin is truly him, y'all, this offense, how many points did we average last year? Anybody know, Funk? What was it? 30, was it 30, 38? I got to look it up. If Julian Sayin is truly him, like we're hearing he is, we're going to average more points than we did last year.
35.69.
35. Okay, so I was slightly off. So we might mess around and average 40 points a game this year, which is insane to think about with the talent that we lost. But, and I know some of y'all, oh, you're a homer, and hear me out, okay? Number one, the offensive line coming into this season is even more, in my opinion, even more solidified than last year coming into the season. I know we lost Donnie Jackson. I know we lost who we lost. But coming into this season, we are more solidified and ready to go, okay? So our wide receivers, our running backs need to prove themselves. But again, behind an awesome offensive line, that right there is the starter. So I feel like if Julian Sayin can remain upright and they can create holes for our backs, what are you going to do? I mean, somebody mentioned Max Clare in the chat. Like that's somebody that we don't talk about enough that we got from the portal. We got the number one tight end in the portal who is basically like another receiver. He's not JJ Smith, but he's like I'm trying to think of a good comparison who's not a tight end, but he's very big receiver like. I mean, he will route you up. He can block. He's got good speed. I mean, what are you going to do? So, Funky, I'm not disagreeing with anything you said about, what this offense can do and all this other stuff, bro. I'm not worried about the offense at all. To me, I'm not even worried about Peoples. I think Peoples is going to be really, really good. I don't know to what level. I know he's going to get to that level at some point before he leaves here. I just don't know if he's going to jump to that level this year. I think the comp is J.K. Dobbins. I think that's his comp. But how far can he reach this year in this offense? I mean, we're all waiting to see, but I think he's going to be good regardless.
I totally agree. And there's 4 things I want to bring up. 1, we're going to pass the ball a lot this year. And we're not just going to pass the ball to the wide receivers. We're going to use the tight ends. And that's not just me saying that. That's not just me saying, oh, we got Max Clare, we're going to pass it to him, because that'd be too obvious. No. There's been multiple stuff that we've been hearing at Buckeye Scoop that Keenan Bailey, the new co-offense coordinator, by the way, and Brian Hartline they're scheming up a lot of tight end throws, because Keenan Bailey and Brian Hartline, really good buddies. Keenan Bailey's one of the, the favorite he's one of the favorite people on the staff, believe it or not. So they're going to throw him the ball a lot. The tight ends are going to be used. They're going to be used a lot, because we have a lot of talent at tight end, and they're going to be used this year. I would bet anything on it. We are going to use a tight end. We're going to have multiple tight ends be extremely productive. I can see 4 of them getting big time playing time and making big time plays for us this year. So that's the second thing. Is the offensive line is amazing. The offensive line's amazing, and it's going to be week 1. Bearing injury, bearing sickness, bearing any of that stuff, it's going to be Ethan at left tackle. Oh my God, of course, and I'm forgetting the names. Or Tigra at right tackle, Carson at center, Luke Montgomery at left guard, and Austin Cervell at right tackle. That's going to be offensive line. It's going to be a great offensive line. We have tons of depth. Josh Padilla is going to be the next guard center up, and Phillips is going to be the next the next tackle up, and that's a solid line. That's fantastic.
Very solid.
And I'm not sure. Oh, and my prediction for Sayin's stats is I think he's going to throw for a ton of yards, ton of touchdowns, but I would probably bet on the interceptions being a little higher than what we usually see, just based on, the road environments we're going into, based on the fact that we're going to be throwing it a lot more and all that stuff. So I can see his picks being a little higher. And that actually wasn't the last thing I was going to say. The thing about James People that I love the most, the absolute most, the thing that's most frustrating to go against in all of college football is when you tackle a guy 2 yards up the field and he falls and gets 4. You tackle a guy at 5 and he gets 6, 7. When you tackle a guy 1 yard before the line of scrimmage, or 1 yard before the first down, and he just falls over and gets the first down. That's James Peoples. So I think he's an absolute stud. He's going to be the workhouse running back. Him and CJ Donaldson, or CJ's lost a lot of weight and gone way faster. And James Peoples is going to, he's going to be that big time back for Ohio State this year. He'll be an NFL guy for sure next year. And do I think he'll put up the same stats as Trayvon and Quinn? Nah, probably not. But he's going to make big time plays when we need them. The box is going to be lesser. They're going to have to double team JJ. They're probably have to double team Carnell, and they're going to have to put another big cornerback on Max. Wow, that's horrible. Max Clare
on the white JJ Smith.
On the white JJ Smith. Yeah, exactly. So I think James People is going to have a lot of success for us, and I think he's going to rush for a ton of touchdowns because he's just hard to tackle. He's hard to bring down, and that's literally what you need out of running back. Because the thing I hate it most about, my least favorite player in Buckeye history, I hate talking about this because I do love all the Buckeyes really, but my least favorite all time was Master Teague. I feel like every time they blocked for 4 yards, he would get 3, and I'd be like, what the heck? How is that even possible? So sorry to the Master Teague fan club. But that was frustrating for me. And I just think James Peoples the opposite of that. You block it for 3, he gets 5. You block it for 5, he gets 7. I think he lacks a little bit of explosive speed, but in between the yards, in between the first down and the line of scrimmage, he's as elite as it comes in college football.
Funky, I will see your Master Teague, and I will raise you a Lydell Ross. You weren't born yet, but go look up Lydell Ross. He was in the same backfield that Maurice Claret was in. He was from Florida, but he was I'm sorry, that's mean. Lydell Ross might be watching. I was not a Lydell Ross fan. He was not very good, but go check out Lydell Ross. And I'm laughing at Studley Budley. So what's the white version of JJ Smith? What should we call him? JJ Smithers? Is that a white last name?
Josh Smith. Yeah.
Josh Smith. So listen, the point is, Claire is a dog. He's a dog, y'all. I can't wait for y'all to see Max Clare, man, because I think some of y'all still sleeping on him. For real. But and then I saw Grandpa, somebody quoted one of my favorite movies. I told y'all I'm a Sandler guy. I think I'm Adam Sandler's biggest black fan. Am I not? Outside of Chris Rock, his buddy. I love Adam Sandler. And Grandpa Buck said, "You've underestimated my sneakiness." If y'all don't know where that's from, it's from a movie called Mr. Deeds. All right. Hilarious movie. Have you seen that, Funky? Mr. Deeds?
I've never heard of it.
Oh my God. Oh, I gotta get you all together, bro. Have you seen Billy Madison?
Nope.
What?
Never even heard of it.
Somebody help me rebuke this young man. He said he's never even heard of it. All right, I gotta get you straight, bro. Waterboy, you've seen Waterboy.
I've seen Waterboy.
Waterboy. Okay, Waterboy. The Wedding Singer was classic. I mean, Happy Gilmore. You've seen Happy Gilmore, right?
Of course. 100 times. Okay.
That's one of the bigger ones, but I'm telling you, Adam Sandler got some heat, man, with the funny movies. And I'm gonna get you straight when we get off this live. But anyway, but yeah, so look at Mark Swick. He said, "Come on, Funky WTH." Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. I gotta get you here to the Adam Sandler catalog for sure. Yeah, we tripping in the chat. But I think the overall point is that we're excited about this season, y'all. This is going to be a big summer. The hammer dropping is going to be epic. The site might crash, y'all. YouTube might crash. That in itself is going to be crazy. And then, of course, we're going to blink, and it's going to be fall camp, and we're going to have so much to talk about, and the excitement with that, of course, all leading up to the Texas game at the crib. I'm super excited. Coming off a natty. I'm telling you, I keep telling y'all, we are so blessed to be Buckeye fans, y'all. We are blessed to have, the team that we have, the program we have, and everything we got to look forward to is insane. So yeah, man, you got anything on that, Funky, as we wrap up in a couple minutes?
I mean, it's just the best time ever to be a Buckeye fan. There's never been a better time. There might never be a better time to be a Buckeye fan. Winning the Natty, being the Natty favorites in next year, and being the clear Natty favorites the year after that. And while your rivals looking to literally they're looking straight into the shotgun, B Moses. So it's a perfect time to be a Buckeye fan, and love doing the show. It feels like it's season again, but in reality, we're 98, 97 days away. Yeah, because we're Kenyatta Jackson away from today. So 97 days away from Buckeye football, and I absolutely cannot wait. It's going to be great. So I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button. That helps us out, makes us keep being able to do this and keeping all this, this whole channel free, and getting this, talking to y'all every single weekend. So we would appreciate it all. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out all y'all. Y'all know who you are, who came every single weekend. We notice, we don't forget. And yeah, it's a great time to be a Buckeye fan. Even better time to be on BuckeyeScoop.com. So it's great to be here. We're feeling like national champs, Moses. It's like winning the Natty over again.
I'm very happy to be here. That's another movie reference, Coming to America. Come on, y'all, get it together. Stanley Butley said Peoples is the black version of Scatterpoo. He is on a roll. That is hilarious. And I don't disagree with that. But another quick one, Adam Sandler movie, Little Nicky. Very underrated movie. Little Nicky, hilarious. I'm about to holler at Funky when we get off this live. Listen, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And we're going to see y'all next Sunday. Peace. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.